Welcome to Bus Driver Life. I'm gonna do a reaction video, so let's go to my house. So, I'm at home, I'm not at work right now, clearly.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
I'm a bus driver. There are people that hate bus drivers. They hate taking the bus. And, I can understand why people feel that way sometimes. So, I'm gonna watch a video of a person that hates bus drivers, or they hate certain things that bus drivers do. And they hate taking the bus or things about taking the bus. And I'm going to react to it and respond and let you know what a real bus driver thinks. I've been driving the buses for a long time. Transit for like almost 9 years now. And then prior to that, I drove school buses for almost 9 years. So I know a thing or two about driving the bus.
He ain't lying.
So make sure you subscribe, and I'm going to pretty much just get right into this. Let's see what this young lady is talking about, okay? Yeah, okay. Right now.
I hate it when you're on the bus, right? And then when the bus driver asks everyone to move to the back, or like it's a whole bunch of room in the back of the bus and like no one will move, like it really irks me. Like I want to get all the way to the back and stuff. So I ask people nicely, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, and they be looking like, what? But then you get mad. You get really mad at me when I push past you though. Like for real, like you couldn't move. What's so hard about moving to the back of the bus? Like it's really not that hard. So why don't you just move your ass to the back of the bus? It's not that hard.
So I can definitely understand where she is coming from, talking about people not wanting to move to the back of the bus. Typically like during rush hour when you have a lot of people commuting to school and to work or whatnot, the bus can get really full. The seats fill up quickly and then it gets to the point to where it's like standing room only. So what some people like to do is they'll get on the bus and they'll stand right in the front. So it'd be difficult for people to get past them. Like they're standing on the sides and they're not completely blocking the aisle, but they're taking up a lot of space. And there's like plenty of room for them to move back so that when people get on the bus, they can just kind of fill up from the back to the front. But you do have people that like to linger in the front, and then they're very stubborn. Like I've had to ask people a few times, like, hey, can we have everybody move to the back? We got more people trying to get on the bus and we have plenty of room, but people are just like, nope, I'm gonna stay right up here in the front. And I'll have to make the announcement like 2 or 3 times and people still don't want to move, or they'll move to let people pass and then they'll come right back up to the front like, this is where I'm standing. This is my spot. I earned this. So yes, that can be annoying for the passengers as well as the bus driver. Let's continue.
I hate it when the bus is late. Like this, for real, public transportation is supposed to be reliable, first of all. It's supposed to be reliable. So how in the hell is public transportation reliable when it's always fucking late? Like for real. All the time. It don't matter if it's 2 minutes late, if it's 5 minutes late, if it's 10 minutes late, if it's an hour late, if it's 2 hours late, if it's 3 hours late. Like it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Like why the hell do y'all have to always be so damn late?
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, we should probably stop. So why the H do we always have to be so D-word late? It's interesting because she's asking the question as if we are intentionally late. Like it is our plan to be late. And there's always exceptions to the rule, so understand that. But generally, bus drivers are not trying to be late. We want to get to the end of the line so we can have whatever break we can get. So like if we're running 10 minutes late and I have a 10-minute break at the end of the line, once I get to the end of the line, I get no break. I just have to turn around and go back in the opposite direction and, do the route going the other way. So why would I not want a break, sis? In most cases, like I said, there's always an exception to the rule, but in most cases, we're not trying to, here's the thing, let me say this. I understand the frustration as a passenger if the bus is late. I've been a passenger before, whether it's a bus, a train, taking a flight somewhere. Yes, it is always irritating and annoying when your mode of travel is running late. So being irritated by that, annoyed, upset, that's fine, that's human. Like I totally get that because I've been there before and I'll probably be there again one day. Maybe I'm flying somewhere, maybe I'm taking a bus, a train, whatever, and it's running late. And I'm like, why is it late? You know what I mean? But she's like saying that us bus drivers, like, why do we have to be late? We're not trying to be late. You ride the bus. Like, passengers will be like, I don't see why y'all always so late. But these people ride the bus a lot and they see the stuff that a bus driver is dealing with, whether it's the traffic, you have a lot of passengers with, in wheelchairs, with walkers, canes, mobility devices, basically. You have people that get on like, oh, I don't know where my bus fare is at. Where did I put my bus fare? You have people that are like standing in the doorway smoking a cigarette and they're taking their time to put the cigarette out, even though they should have had the cigarette put out before they even walked up to the doorway. But that's a different video because that is one of my pet peeves. But let me get back on the topic. I don't want to stray from my notes. I don't have any notes. Whatever. But yeah, especially during the commuter hours, the rush hour, peak hours, whatever you want to call it. Like, there's a lot of people riding the bus and schedules are written by, a certain department at a transit agency. Schedules are typically not written by bus drivers. The bus drivers, we don't write the schedules. We don't come up with the schedules. So just because that paper says the bus should be there at 7:05, that doesn't mean that the bus can actually get there at 7:05 depending on the time of day. Because certain time, like let's say they give you a route, let's say you're riding route 2. Let's just throw out a random number, route 2. Let's say from the beginning of route 2 to the end of route 2, the schedule gives about 35 minutes for that bus to get from the beginning to the end. During the rush hour, the peak hours, it may not take 35 minutes. It may take 45 minutes because there's extra traffic and there's extra people riding the bus. It takes longer certain times of the day to get that bus down the road. So it may say something on paper, it may look good on paper, but it just may not work out that way. It's not that the bus driver is sitting there trying to be late, like, yes, let's be late today, man. I don't want any breaks. It's public transportation. Like, people are getting on and off the bus. I don't know. What else? I mean, you take the bus, just pay attention to what's going on the bus. You'll see things that happen that eat away at the time. Like, just sit there and observe. I used to do that when I was a passenger on a bus all the time. I would see the things that would happen. I'm like, see, this is why the buses be late all the time. And 95% of the time, it was never something that the bus driver was doing. It was generally like, just pull up to a stop and it's like 20 people at the stop. Some routes are like that. It'd be like 15, 20 people. So all those people have to get on the bus. All right, let's see what else this young lady has to say right now.
Because, like, for real, I gotta be to work, I gotta go to school, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like, I have a life too. Like, but you're working for the city, first of all. You have to be there on time, for real. Because we gotta go places, we gotta do things, so that, like, y'all act like y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all really don't. Y'all don't be caring. Because I be seeing them, especially when they be, like, just switching and stuff, do not be caring at all. They do not give a fuck. They be just like, y'all can wait, y'all gonna be late, and we don't care.
A few moments later.
So she was saying you work for the city, so you got to be on time. Just because I work for the city does not mean the bus is going to be on time. It does not mean that I can get the bus down the road on time. There are so many obstacles. In most cases, we can get down the road in decent time. She was saying like it don't matter if the bus is 2 minutes late, 5 minutes late. A lot of times the bus is going to be about 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes late. It just happens. But also there are portions of the route where we may actually make that time back up. There have been times when my bus is scheduled to get to the end of the line at a certain time, and in the middle of the route I'm running like 7 minutes late because it's so busy at a certain portion of the route. But once I pass that portion, I can make that 7 minutes up and still get to the end of the line right on time, or maybe 2 minutes late, something like that. It can be a little bit difficult sometimes. It's not just as easy. It's like, gonna sit behind the wheel and drive the bus. Gonna be on time no matter what.
Don't ever do that again.
And then the switching part, when drivers have to switch. Sometimes in the middle of a route, a driver will be driving the bus, and guess what? Their shift is done. So there will be another bus driver there to relieve that driver and take over the bus. So I know exactly how it feels to be in that passenger seat and Maybe the bus is running a few minutes late and you're really trying to get somewhere, you're trying to make a connection, and now the bus drivers have to switch. But guess what? I can't get mad at the bus drivers for switching. You want to know why? The bus drivers didn't come up with that process. They are not the ones who said, you know what, let's switch right here. That's the transit system scheduled it, the scheduling department. They are the ones that initiated that process. They came up with that. So the bus drivers are just people that are showing up to work and they have to do what their employer is telling them to do. So what does that mean? The driver gets to the middle of the route and this is a point where they get relieved. So you know what? My shift is over. I have to get my things, my belongings, maybe put my jacket back on. I may have had a personal bag locked up somewhere. You may have a compartment up here or over here or wherever, and you need to get your stuff. Then you have to let the driver that's relieving you know if there's any issues with the bus, let them know if everything's okay. You may need to let them know if there's a detour on the route. There might be a passenger in a wheelchair or maybe a passenger that's like visually impaired and they need a specific stop. So you'll let them know like, hey, this gentleman over here, this woman over here, you know, they need to get off wherever. So you know, that stuff happens, and then the driver that's going to take over the bus, they have to get there, put their belongings away. They have to adjust their mirrors, the steering wheel, their seat. They may have to punch in something and log in. Like, there's a few things that you have to do. And yes, it does take a little bit of time. But the drivers are not sitting there saying, we don't give a F. We don't care if you're late. F y'all. Well, okay. There might be a few that are like that. If you're upset about the bus driver switching, then people need to petition and protest transit systems all over the globe and tell them no more switching drivers in the middle of the route. What am I supposed to do? What are bus drivers supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Tell me what we're supposed to do. Look at all these extra hand gestures that I'm using right now. Let's continue on right now.
I hate it when you sit down on the bus and you put your bag down on the seat next to you. Now, I'm guilty of that. Okay, I'm not going to front. I'm not going to stunt. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
I do that shit because, like, for real, sometimes I be having a bad ass day, and sometimes people be stinking, and people be just nasty, and people be looking at you and be doing weird shit on the damn bus, and I don't want you sitting next to me, but it's still rude. And honestly, it's a pet peeve of mine. It's like, even though I do it, I really do it.
So
it's still a pet peeve of mine. It's like, I hate that shit. Like, why are you putting your bag in the damn seat? Like, your bag in the seat. For real, your bag is that precious. Like, put it in your lap. Like, that's why wouldn't you put it in your lap where you can see everything? Like, if you put it on next to you, and then what if you go to sleep or you gotta do something? Whatever the hell you might do. Whatever the hell you might do on the bus. But for real, it'd be safer in your lap, wouldn't it? I think so. I think it would be safer in your lap. So next time you get on the bus and you don't want nobody sitting next to you and stuff like that, do what I do. I'd be like, or you just sit there like this.
So yeah, her pet peeve is when people put their bags on the seat that's next to them. But she does it also. She admitted to it, and I do appreciate her honesty. I understand you want your own personal space, but you just have to get a car for that. Yeah, people, don't put your bag on the seat next to you because that's a seat for another person to sit in. And did you see the facial expression she was making? I bet she looks at the bus driver like that when she gets on the bus. Like, good morning, and she's like, In conclusion, I totally understand her being frustrated and irritated by certain things that happen on the bus. Even the bus being late. I totally get people getting upset. I will never, even though I'm a bus driver, I will never be like, how dare you get upset about the bus being late? I get it. Just don't get so upset at the bus drivers. Like, have some compassion, have some understanding, have some consideration. But I'm not mad at her. I just want to have a little bit of fun. I think it's really interesting because there are a lot of people that have posted some videos regarding public transportation, how much they dislike it, which I understand. And then some people say they absolutely hate bus drivers. So I'm going to do more reactions to videos like that because I think it's really interesting, and I think it's fair to allow both sides to voice their opinion. And I'm not here to say they're wrong about everything. I'm totally open to agreeing to whatever I feel I agree with, and I also have understanding. Like I said, I get why you're upset about certain things. I get it. So hopefully I can help you to understand why certain things may happen the way they happen. So if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to subscribe and give me the thumbs up. And yeah.